Hey Kevin, it's Kerry. Of course, this is for Monday morning. This is a wheat chart. I'm not quite sure why that's up. As I said, I'm just going to jump into a few markets that do. I'm going to actually, while we're at this, see if we've been stopped out yet. And the answer would be no. 116.55. This is kind of that market profile. Um, I think you're well aware of this. So we have the move high inside day here, another inside day going right now. So if we break 1655, we actually could get down in the 15, mid 115 handle. So anyway, so there's that. But as long as we're above this 11655, we could actually hopefully close higher in the day, and that would be nice. Anyway, and so as long as we continue closing above this formation, which we have for 2 days in a row, and the question is whether we will as well today. The market actually remains constructive into later week and into next. So that's all I'm going to say for that. I'm going to take a quick look at feeder cattle, see what the hell's going on there. I haven't been watching. Okay, it's up a little bit. Still holding long-term support, and now the 147 handle. Um, Take a look at the live cattle spread. I'm going to be looking at the live cattle spreads in a moment, and that's at 345, well above the market right now. Crude oil, we're out of that trade. Good thing. Market's continuing higher. Um, Corn backed off a bit from the highs last week, so forth and so on. Soybeans, take a quick look at soybeans right now. Yeah, the breakout today would be 908 even, settlement above, so we'll watch for that. And then, I just had the wheat up. So I'm going to jump. Okay, Canadian dollar. Yeah, settlement today above 75.08, 75.20 last. The high settlement was 75.27. This looks pretty good. You've got the high of this low on Friday, 75.04. I am not opposed to buying this. I don't think it's going to be runaway. You've got this sort of rotational sequence. I could easily see like the next rotation up. If we get this buy signal, that's not even proper. Hold on a second. Yeah, next rotation up, and then we could back off, so forth and so on. But, I do think that the 77 handle, is it still 77? Upper 76 handle is in reach if we get a settlement today above 75.08. All right. Gold, little rally going on. This is our resistance area. This is now everybody's support. 1280s. 10-year 10-year looks to test 123.0608. As far as the 10 years concerned, still in the midst of, this is not really a long-term buy signal, it's more mid-term. Like by the end of May, we could actually get up here into the 126 handle. And so let me jump into the spreads. I've got them set up: corn, wheat, beans, live cattle, lean hogs, bean meal. I could add the crude Brent or crude versus crude different months. But let's jump into the corn spreads right now. And this is I probably should have broken them down. This is Dees March, Dees Dees, July Dees. God damn it. Come on, there we are. All right. So this is a channel bottom, and it's at negative 21.1. Obviously the emphasis is down, but if there's one area to stick your neck out, it could be in here. We actually came close to testing it a couple weeks ago, rallied nicely off of it. So if we're not short already, it would be with a settlement below this formation. And if we're looking to get long, it would be buying into it. So that's the July DEES 19 corn. This is the DEES March. This would be DEES 19 March 20. Sorry about that. I do have to change that before I forget. Okay. So You know, where's this thing going? You got these lows here. I mean, are we going to get back up to this channel top? I don't know, but this is your resistance. This is your long-term ceiling. Here's this low, negative 12.2, negative 12.4. Yeah, and nothing. Oh, wait. I'm just realizing now I do really need to, they need to be in their own files. Yeah, I was going to create a channel bottom, but I really, there's a high right here, you know, and this is just, well, I suppose it's not out of the question, you know. This may be the big support area. I don't know. Here's another one. Trying to find support. I'm not crazy about buying this thing. I guess this would be an area, negative 16.2. So, but it does remain bearish below 12.2. And either one of these points is in reach over the coming weeks. Yeah, I do need to, because it gets to be, okay, here's Dees. Good support at 27, negative 27.3. But you've got resistance here. Yeah, bearish, but yeah, I don't know how valid the Dees spread is. I think the more commonly used one is the July Dees for all intents and purposes. This is kind of what we're watching. But there's nothing screaming other than the buying that negative 21.1 on the July Dees. Let's take a look at wheat. Dees March, July Dees. Okay, so we've got support here at negative 23.5. That's our channel structure. If we violate it, then we're looking at negative 29.5. Otherwise, this is a good area to buy into. It's, you know, goes back 3-4 weeks. It is an ascending channel bottom. Where is it going to get to? That's always a good question. You know, it could be something like this perhaps. You know, if we hold above this, we could continue higher into this area, negative 13.5. But there's the bottom line here with the July D spread. We have May, July. Okay, that's the current one. And you got resistance here if we close above it. This is a channel top. This 1.2, I don't know why I didn't label them, but it is 1.2. And so this is our resistance. This is a sell area, in my opinion. Dees March. Similar, you got these lows here. This is bearish overall. Turns bullish above 11.2. We settle below negative 14. Then looking for negative 16.7, which is a good buy area. So if we close below this, negative 14, I have no problem going to negative 16.7 or negative 17. I think that's likely over the following several weeks. Until then, holding above 14, we should reach into that 11.2 area. So I'm not, you know, I'm just kind of combing, browsing, lightly touching upon, and you know, if any of this grabs you, you know, then you bring it up to my attention, and I'll focus more on one of these particular spreads. Beans. Okay, so we've got this is Nov Jan. July Nov is the big one. Come on now. All right, July Nov. So this is resistance. I don't really have support. You got negative 18.2, negative 15.6 is breakout to the upside. And then we're looking for, you know, really a 13-cent move, which is pretty good for a spread if we close above this area. Here's July Nov support. So if we close below this formation, which you can see here, at negative 22.1, then, you know, there's really not much to lean on. So you got little stuff on the way down, you know, this kind of stuff. But yeah, that could certainly contain several weeks of activity. Sorry, this is a daily chart. So bear in mind, I'm still just getting acclimated to these spreads, and I'm sure I'll have more to say on them as we continue. And this is Novjan soybeans once again. We did put out a sell signal a few days ago. This is a daily chart, believe it or not. And below 9.2, negative 9.2, negative 11.4. That's just a 2-cent move in that spread. That is so funny. You could like load up on that for 2 cents. You're familiar with the live cattle spreads. There's DSFEB, OCDES, OG-OC, and the one you're always familiar with, of course, right now is June OG. So I'm not going to spend any time here because this should all look very familiar. But as we continue now we have August, October. We have this formation, negative 1.250, can contain selling through April. If we close below it, negative 1.825 would be the target. I think this is the big base of support down here. I think I've been implying recently that it would be this negative 1.250, but I think it's more this negative 1.825. Whether we get there or not depends on whether we settle below negative 1.250. And this low of the high is consistent with a 5/8 Fibonacci retracement, and that's at negative 125. That's our ceiling. We get above it, the market can continue higher to say a channel top in here. October D's bearish, no identifiable support as far as I'm concerned. It's just all we really have is a ceiling here in the negative 3.350 to 275 area. So if given the chance, this is our sell zone, and below which it's really hard to say where this thing's going to go. I mean, what I normally would do is if I had a high here and a low way down here and maybe a high up here, I do like an ABC count or some sort of a Fibonacci wave extension. But you really don't have that. You got these little waves. They're not going to amount to anything in terms of downside projections. You could do a double channel, and I'm not going to do it exactly here, but it would look something like this. It'd be in this vicinity, roughly. That could be the double channel. So I'm going to take that off because I don't want to forget that it's not exact. DSFEB, this one is also bearish. This was the sell signal a couple of weeks ago. Now looking for this. Negative 2.550. It's based on this little high here. You can't even see it with the channel structure, but it's a little dot. And that, as far as CQG is concerned, is the move high. So I think that covers the live cattle. Lean hogs, OCDES, OG, June, OG. Okay, this is the one we're in now, June, OG. Came very close a couple days ago to testing the speed line. And holding below this 725 negative does allow negative 3.60. This speed line. Now we do have a channel top that the market held today, so there is a chance this could actually hold for the week. But what I like about the speed line down here at negative 3.6 instead of this negative 3.05 is it's consistent with a lot of these highs. In fact, the high of this low is negative 3.7. So this whole area down here is sort of the stick your neck out buy area. And we could, above which we could easily sort of retest or come close to retesting, this area up here at negative 0.725. So that is July AUG. Now we have AUG OC. I got a few charts here. Sell signal here, looking for this now in the AUG OC. Obviously, we've got some lows. That's at 9075. I've got another AUG OC here. Okay. So this is another speed line that came close to holding. And this formation is also illustrated in that other chart. So very close to testing the speed line. We're backing off now. This speed line is consistent with these lows. Once you break this low, this speed line is no longer valid. You have to redraw a new one. but I'm just putting it there for the time being because below 11.3, we are looking for 7.5. And that's AUG, AUK, and this finally should be AUK DEES. And once again, pushing through this channel formation was a buy signal to where the only thing that's really identifiable is this channel top. Could do like a Fibonacci full wave count. Oh, look at that. Well, that only makes sense, doesn't it? You've got an A, B, and then 100% swing up to 2.0 is 9.3. And this channel formation is 9.5. In fact, it's not a channel formation, it's a double channel extension formation. So here's your ceiling. I'm going to take this off. And here's your floor, 6.6 to 7. Let's put it this way. This is an area to buy into. And inversely, if settled below, is an area to go short at or below. So that's the AUK DEES spread. So there's a lot of information here. And if there's one spread, you know, that it seems like the lead spreads right now, like with regard to July DEES and corn and July NOVE and beans, and in the lean hogs here you got AUG, AUK. These are as well as this June AUG. They're all very fluid and active markets, no doubt about it. Bean meal. All right, not much to show here. This is the July AUG, and that's all I did. It looks like a 5-minute bar chart, but each of these is a day. So, you know, here's your big ceiling. I don't see us getting there anytime soon. We got negative 1.30 as our resistance, below which is anybody's guess. This looks very much like the bean meal chart in and of itself. All right, I think that's all I'm going to do. If there's other spreads, now I know there's other spreads. I got crude oil. We could do the crush, but I know you didn't like the intermarket element there. But we could do WTI versus Brent. That's actually a very popular spread. Or would you rather do WTI versus a different month in WTI? And there's others too, but I'm just, you know, we're going on 20 minutes here, and I really just wanted to cover this so we could sort of fine tune kind of the direction we might go. We could look at all of them, but each of these spreads could actually be, you know, the wheat spread. I could have 3 different wheat spread pages actually, and the same is true, of course, with beans and corn and so forth. Let's take a quick look for some reason. All right, there's sugar. NASDAQ is not taking up and away. You know, it's consolidating. 7526.75 is today's big support. So, but it's bullish above. There's no two ways about it, really. Cocoa took off, right? Yeah. It's hanging in there, consolidating the last few days, but you're familiar with all this. And then finally, coffee. I'm sorry, this is cotton within the coffee file. Big area this week, 80.06 to 79.86. That makes it simple. 79.86 to 80.06. Big ceiling, also breakout to the upside. And then there's the cotton again. And this is coffee, just doing nothing. All right, that's all I'm going to do here for right now, Kevin, and we'll talk soon.